Good evening to our viewers and welcome to Friday Night Hockey at Rondebosch. We have Rondebosch boys playing against Paarl boys. Sitting alongside me is my co-commentator Daryl, who clearly didn't get the memo for the weather. He's sitting in his shorts and tackies. Here I am dressed up like a polar bear. The rain is beating down, although it's just a drizzle this evening. We're expecting a lot worse, but fantastic to see these two teams out, and we're looking forward to a fantastic encounter. Earlier in the day, we've had some results for you. The under-14 A Rondebosch beating Paarl boys 4-1, with one lucky striker getting a hat-trick there. The under-15 A's 3-1 to Rondebosch, and Daryl's team recently just left the Astro. The under-16 A's had a great game, winning 3-0. Daryl, what do you think about the new Rondebosch kit for this evening?
Thank you, Stu. I'm not going to hold it against you. For those out there, my name is actually Dylan. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm actually a big fan of the new kit. Sponsorship much bigger, which is quite nice to get some exposure into the hockey community. Guys looking nice in the yellow kit for the first time this year. Taking a knee to have a chat and a prayer, which is nice to see from both teams. Sure, it's going to be a big fixture. Rain's out, making the turf very slippery, very fast. So it's difficult to trap and pass the ball. But it always adds a bit of excitement with some spills on the defensive side. So we could be looking at a tough fixture from both sides.
In the game, the encounter last week against Weinberg, I think the Rondebosch coaching staff might have said they gave away quite a lot of possession. But what encouraged me was the turnover and the pace that the Rondebosch boys attacked with. We don't know much about the Paarl boys team, but I do know they had an encounter last weekend against Grey Bloem, and they were 1-0 down with 30 seconds to go. And then young Christian lefty got the goal in the dying seconds from a short corner. So we're definitely up for a very intense game. I've heard via the grapevine that there are a couple of hard runners in this Paarl boys side, which will definitely test our defense.
Yeah, as of late, Paarl as a school, I'd say, has improved dramatically on the hockey front as the sport grows throughout the country. So it's nice to see that they are getting much closer to the southern suburb schools. As we kick off now, playing it to the right back, moving it around. Rondebosch with an aggressive start, pressing forward to try and turn it over as they do going forward. Johnny McConnell receiving the ball, very dangerous position. Paarl with some great defense. So, I mean, last week we saw Rondebosch taking a good victory against Weinberg. Major reason for that would be our aggressive new approach to how we attack going forward. Rondebosch in the past has been very reliant on overheads and all that, but nice to see the change in strategy, some fast-paced passing and boys hitting the right areas, grabbing a crucial short corner in the opening minutes. Hopefully they can convert.
Yes, right through the age groups, this Rondebosch team have had a really lethal short corner combination with Captain Brett Sparks unleashing a couple of rockets from the top of the D. Let's see what they do with this short corner. Quickly in, variation to the bottom, and a goal by Matthew Miller. Fantastic start. Good variation by Rondebosch. I think they were expecting that bullet from Sparks, but instead chose the option bottom right-hand corner, and all Mr. Miller had to do was get his stick down and deflect it into the goal. He has been prolific this season so far with his goal scoring, and let's hope that continues. 2 minutes into the game, and it was lovely to see the support that the umpires gave one another, with Mr. Groene here under our noses closest to the stand, pointing out to Tristan Perez that there was a foot inside the circle when he hadn't seen it. So excellent teamwork by the officials.
Obviously seeing a lot of patient work here from the Paarl team, not wanting to panic even though they're 1-0 down. Still a lot of hockey to be played. Ball going through up the left-hand side, breaking through Rondebosch's press. I think exactly what Paarl was looking for. Good, swift defense from Rondebosch though. Cut inside from Matthew Miller running forward. Nice change in the channel there, moving it across. There's that sharp, swift attack we were speaking about earlier, looking so dangerous. Anything really could happen up front there with catching them off guard on the counter. Paarl now with the 16 just there on the left-hand side. A lot of pressure at the moment applied by Rondebosch. Another turnover there in the midfield. Rondebosch's press seeming to work exactly as they'd like, just not quite the connections that they'd like going forward, but hopefully that can change. As the rain dies down, getting some seemingly perfect conditions on this AstroTurf. Minimal wind, nice damp turf. Boys making full use of the water base here. Rondebosch once again looking so dangerous going forward into the circle. Just can't quite get the connections on that last move. And the attack thwarted once again by Paarl boys' defense, looking very strong this evening. Paarl always though seeming to be a big physical threat and defensive force, so understandable that it's very difficult for Rondebosch to break through here. Top class defense there on the left hand side, clearing the ball all the way back into Rondebosch half, getting some nice territory, hopefully putting some pressure on them.
Paarl boys trying to press Rondebosch. Quite a big gap between their forwards and links though, which allows the ball to be threaded down the line by Duncan Bickard, who's got a legendary slap that goes down that right flank for Rondebosch. Captain Sparks giving a bit of depth there for Duncan Bickard. Quick ball to Justin Dietrich, who is a formidable man in defence for Rondebosch. Again, as Dylan was saying, quick attack by Rondebosch. Jonty on the ball. Jonty Donald has, over the years, been an excellent player for all the Rondebosch teams he's played for. Oh, there we see Justin Dietrich's almost high tackling or being high tackled by one of the Paarl boys, and he barely flinched. Got the ball away in quite a well executed pass. Brett Sparks on the ball. Oh, umpire Perez would like the ball taken from the right position. Slows the game down completely. Rondebosch won't be too happy with that. Same again to Justin Dietrich. Quick ball through. Finds Brits. Brits to John McConnell, who wins the long corner. One thing that strikes me, Dylan, is the pace at which Rondebosch counter-attack. They've got Alex Blows, who seems to be just as quick off the ball and running with the ball. So I think that's one of the things that's really going to hold them in good stead this season. What are your thoughts?
No, it's well known that Rondebosch's attack is extremely quick going forward, but that is obviously due to the extreme fitness and pace from our links currently at the moment. And of course Alex Blows being the main force behind that seems to never run out of steam, and hopefully that continues through the season. Yeah. Also got a couple of young talents in JP Brits just coming back now from the Namibian series against Africa. He was obviously playing for Namibia, unfortunately not an SA boy, but still great asset to have for Rondebosch going forward, giving us a couple of years at first team, which is very, very nice.
It seems that both schools have a great hockey program in place. In chatting to their head of hockey before the game, their captain is not only the captain of the first team hockey, but he's also a keen golfer, and also this is his third year in the team, so there's obviously a talented player. There we have some good running, strong running on the ball, and the rain comes down a little bit harder. Those of you can see in the screen on your screens where you catch it in the lights. John T. Donald, well played. Gives it to Daniels. Oh, Alex Blows committing there on that tackle. Might have been better served waiting. Oh, sorry, pardon me, that's Daniels on the ball, and now Brits. Keep it simple. Blows luckily wins the ball back to Jonty. Jonty to Duncan Bickard, passing it down the line off the stick and wins that. Quick ball might be onto Captain Sparks here. Yep, off it goes. Rondebosch can open up play here with a quick switch. Dietrich on it to Daniels, who bounces it off. Lovely ball to Brits. Brits down the line to Miller. Miller on the run. Short corner would be a great result here, or better still, a goal. McConnell on the ball. Oh, passes it square. Tight angle to shoot from that. What would you, as a coach, tell your strikers to do in that situation?
Well, obviously looking at his receive, decent first touch there. I would have hoped to see a first-time shot, but understandably decided to take the touch with the wet, slippery stick. So ideally the second best outcome there would have been a short corner, but still nice to see getting in the circle, looking dangerous. Another powerful shot there from McConnell coming from the left-hand side. Once again, great defense from Paarl. So it seems to be very difficult for Rondebosch to break through and score field goals. So hopefully the strategy would maybe be to grab some more short corners going forward, as we are currently 1 from 1 here.
McConnell takes a breather. On comes Steinbacher, who has hockey in his veins. His mother was a very, very successful hockey player in Holland, and his dad a handy cricketer. So sport is part of the family, and he really comes on and runs hard, does Stein. Bickard didn't have many options there, but still managed to weave it through the eye of the needle to Steinbacher on the wing, who loses the ball to Paarl. Hit. Nice ball through by Paarl. Oh, very, very well played by Paarl. One touches and a deflection past the bottom right. What I've noticed today in watching a few games here is the skills of the goalkeepers, especially in the air. Unbelievable. It's obviously something that Rondebosch as a school and Paarl are focusing on, because I'm amazed at the ability of these goalkeepers.
Yeah, I mean it makes it very difficult to win games when you're leaking goals on defense. So both schools obviously putting in some programs and some extra work with their goalkeepers to ensure that that doesn't happen. No silly goals on the counter, and making sure that their last line of defense is as solid as possible, as we saw there. But in saying that, in this game, Paarl looking very dangerous when they turn the ball over, because getting the ball through there for a 1v1, which is never ideal. Fortunately this time nothing of it, but who knows, maybe going forward they change it and put one in for the equalizer. Rondebosch stuck in the back corner there, able to get it out with a nice slap to the middle. Paarl now seeming to be in their attacking phase of the match, and hopefully Rondebosch can make use of this counter now. Matthew Miller on the ball there. Great defense from the Paarl right back. Lucky enough to grab the short corner. Let's see what becomes of it. Stu, I wonder if you're thinking they're going to change it up here, or maybe put Brett on the drag. That short corner first up seemed to work so brilliantly. I wonder if another variation is on its way.
Yeah, I think that first short corner, the Waves were out very quickly trying to shut Sparks down. So I think they're going to be a little hesitant to come and commit now that they know that Rondebosch have a couple of aces up their sleeves with variations. So let's have a look. I think we might have the second castle coming into play here. Young gets it in, blows. As the rain comes down, so the Astro just seems to get quicker and quicker, which is fantastic. But there does come a point when the ball starts sticking, so we hope we don't get to that torrential rain. But let's have a look at this short corner. We got 1 minute 33 left in this quarter. Young into blows, drag flick again, well saved by the keeper. As I said, those aerial skills. And the ball's over the back line. Very, very good defense by both the postman and the keeper. Rondebosch seem to have a million yellow shirts in midfield. Ball bounces through Beckard. It's calm in defense. Looked like it may have come off a foot, which wasn't blown, but Rondebosch get the ball, blows. And the ball was out the sideline. Fake slap there by Blows, but unfortunately ball went out. I really must commend Rondebosch on their COVID protocols before the game. Players sanitizing after the games, players sanitizing. With the Astros being at a club, it's very difficult to keep the spectators away, but Rondebosch have done a fantastic job in adhering to COVID protocols. And how's that affected the way you prepare for games? Have you had any young players that have been sick as the halftime whistle goes? Rondebosch 1-0 up after that goal in the first second. How has COVID affected your coaching approach?
Well, that's the fortunate thing about these protocols, is as long as we keep them in place, nothing really gets affected. As we see here, just the gents keeping a little bit of a half-meter distance there, making sure not to come into contact unnecessarily with each other. It's really quite simple. As long as we stick to it, a little bit of sanitization when we come in and out of the turf, don't mix unnecessarily with other people, it's very easy to continue to train as we do, and very privileged to be able to do so. Despite the current situations, and we just hope that while we keep all these protocols in place from both the club and the school standards, that we can continue to play, because it would be extremely sad to have a shutdown now just as we've started to open up, and with the boys being so keen to go forward with the rest of the season, some big fixtures coming up in Sachs and Paul Rus, and obviously the massive derby of Bischbosch. So yeah, and again, to be privileged enough to watch it online, to not have to worry about, will I get to see the game, won't I? So very straightforward. Nothing really changes as long as you stick to the rules and everyone climbs on board. We should have a great season ahead.
Yeah, I think the streaming has definitely revolutionised the way school sport is viewed. And in just chatting to the school during the week, Bosch Sports Online had a screening of a soccer game, under 19A versus Weinberg, and they had over 1,000, almost 2,000 people viewing the game live, which is unbelievable, which would not normally have happened under normal circumstances. They would have played their fixture on a Thursday afternoon, and that would have been it. So it's fantastic, the exposure that these young players are getting. What do you think Coach Rowan McLaughlin is telling his charges now? He's standing in the middle of the huddle, using his arms, gesticulating, and just sort of trying to G them up. What do you think his thoughts are to his players right now?
Just from watching Paarl during this first quarter, they seem to be extremely fast up front, and obviously massive ball pace with the turf being as slick and as wet as it is. So if I was him, I would imagine he's trying to explain to them to abuse their speed up front, try and work the ball around the outsides and attack on those baseline areas and 45 towards the circle, because Rondebosch have clearly been extremely strong around the top of the circle, but looking shaky once or twice on the outside. So wouldn't be surprised if they look to attack more with their right and left forward being the quick forwards that they are, to try and work their way around and get that quick counter. As I've said that, they're now moving up the left hand side. Nice ball there, stopped by Mr. Bickard. Good defense. Looking to maybe switch the play here on the right hand side. Exceptional ball pace there from the left. As they move it, heavy press coming in from Rondebosch, able to get that ball. Ethan Young, nice grade 11 with some shining talent coming through here. Working very hard, and can see it paying off as he gets the ball. Unfortunately, not quite finishing off though.
Rondebosch strikers quite high up, wanting Paarl to pass it out left and then shifting across. That 50-50 ball, you've got to go in really hard, make sure that it becomes a 60-40 yours. Looks like a back sticks there. Culligan waits, puts a little pressure on. Paarl seem to have a lot of time there in midfield. Lynx need to push up a little. Last week, Sparks was using the aerial ball out from the 16. Let's see if he does the same. Yes, he does. Oh, that's well trapped. Excellent take from Jano Rousseau there. One hand up way above his head, trapped the ball. Very well played. Grant Swanepoel did very well to get the ball. When the ball gets through the tackle and down the line, the sideline. Sparks again, aerial route. Rousseau, this time he misses. Steinbacher on the ball. Oh. A little lift over the pad. There might have been one to secure that second goal.
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of playing, really. Lack of practice, but again, great save from the keeper. A lot of praise coming their way this evening. As you can see, both sides making great use of the extreme ball pace here this evening on this wet turf. A lot of pressure at the moment. Rondebosch putting as many numbers as they can inside that circle, trying to get something of it. Just 3 minutes into this half and already so much action from both teams. Often very difficult to find options out of those deep corners. Rondebosch doing a good job making their way around. Unfortunately, just losing it on the outside there.
Meyer, lovely run on the diagonal to pick up that ball. Great attempt. I would like to say that Jared Glure had it covered with his stick. He's very good going down to his right and in the right area, sort of from hip up with his stick is old Daryl. Jared Glure. Well picked up by Blows. Lovely, very calm on the ball. JP Brits. Oh, unlucky. Mayer. As a coach on the side, when that 45-degree pass goes and it's straight onto the opponent's front sticks, you must want to pull your hair out.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because, as you can see and watch, it's much harder than one would expect to bounce. To stop that bouncy ball. Just all that's required is a couple centimeters above the turf to float into the space. So 100% there's Stu. Extremely frustrating when ball goes through and easy stop from the defensive side. Rondebosch, unfortunately, once again, opportunity in the circle, not making use of it. Going forward in the season, going to definitely need to make some changes in terms of finishing, maybe putting in a couple extra hours there, having some shots on goal. The amount of opportunities we've had this evening versus the conversion. Paarl now seeming to have a bit more control over their possession, looking much stronger going forward.
Swanepoel definitely becoming seemingly a key player in this Paarl team. He works really hard. Already won a number of balls. Oh, nice aerial ball out. Miller's on it. Gets the ball. Does he get it strong? It's got to get a short corner at least here. Great defense. I think, as you were saying, those sort of little touches in the D, that just comes with game time. Ball bouncing onto your stick, the more you play, as Gary Player, the famous golfer, says, the more you practice, the luckier you get, and the more you spend some game time in the D and practicing those shots at goal, you tend to find the target a lot more. But I'm sure these boys were just absolutely grateful that they are able to be on the park playing, when last year they had one friendly game. So we just hope, as Dylan said, that they can continue playing, and their season is just more than 2 games. Six Rondebosch players in defence with only 3 Paarl attackers. Their links definitely need to start doing a little bit more work.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a bit tough now with the back and forth from the deadly counter-attack from Rondebosch. So maybe needing some fresh legs as we see some substitutions rolling on. Hopefully that'll fix that problem they're having, trying to get guys up front. Looking for that ball on the right-hand side, as I was saying earlier, trying to abuse those fast forwards that they have on both left and right-hand side. Fortunately, once again, that bouncy ball just proving too difficult to trap. Both sides have seemed to settle into this game. The jitters and panic that we saw in the opening minutes, which fortunately led to the first goal of Rondebosch, has now left both teams. Paarl having much more control as they go forward now. So we see them move up the right hand side. Great attack there, just a foot outside. Unfortunately unable to hit it directly in, but simple pass back solves that problem. Paarl looking very dangerous. Rondebosch soaking up the pressure nicely.
Sparks out from that 16. Finds McConnell. Lovely aerial ball. Ball rolls over the sideline. Keegan Culligan gets it in, going early. Through to McConnell. Miller. Oh! Possibly had time to trap the ball there, control it. The keeper was committed, but an excellent team effort by Rondebosch. I must say this new kit sponsored by Claremont VW is growing on me. I was watching the games earlier today, and a lot of the Bosch teams were obviously playing in bibs because the kit was so close. And I wondered what kit the first team would run onto the park with. Really looking smart.
Yeah, it's really nice. In the past, Rondebosch has always had a very simple approach to kit. Nice to see some interesting changes going forward, just to shake things up a bit. Obviously, a lot of appreciation, I'm sure, from the Rondebosch family towards VW Claremont for sorting out such amazing kit for us. Fortunately, in this trap there, you'll see the ball being floated up front there to Matty Miller, looking for his second goal. Unfortunately, just pulling it slightly too far to the right-hand side. Some more excellent defense from the Paarl centre-backs. Great hard work to get his reverse press run all the way back. Matty Miller, being an extremely fast opponent, had a lot of work to make sure that he got there before him. Nice aerial ball there from Paarl going forward. Great skill shown by the centre forward. Foul just outside the circle there. I think going to look to move it quickly and make use of Rondebosch shaky defense here, but Brett Sparks, phenomenal trap, and getting the pressure off with the ball through. Ethan Young now on the ball, left hand side, great skill there. Seems to be a bit of a game of who's got the better counter attack here, Stu.
Certainly seems like that. Rondebosch, I must say, they're throwing away a lot less possession than they did last week, and it seems like the coaching, the brains trust here in the dugout in front of us are trying to rotate the players as quickly as possible to keep those fresh legs on. And lucky that famous Bickard slap down the line, didn't find Bucker running up front. Stein just missed it by a metre or so, ball running into touch. Really thankful the weather seems to be holding, although we are totally surrounded by big dark clouds. The weather service has issued a weather warning for the weekend for all Cape Townians to be very aware of the storms, but we are thankful for the rain. Bickard quickly onto that 50-50 ball, wins it easily. Just not. Coach in the dugout asking his team to please wake up. 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. Oh, again, Bickard hard into that 50-50, wins the ball for Rondebosch. Bickard on it again. Ball to Sparks, takes his time, looks for the pass. Oh, just lacking a little composure on the ball at the moment, Paarl boys. Jonty Donald with a good run into the corner. Unlucky, great defense. Justin Dietrichs to Sparks again. To Bickard. Oh, good tackle, stick down low. Paarl on the counter again. Oh, unlucky, just giving the ball away to Daniels. When coaching young hockey players, there's always the question the coach asks, what's the fastest thing on the field? And they'll turn to a player and say, well, it's number 11, sir. And it isn't, it's the ball. Mr. Edwards, the coach of Rondebosch, shouting, please move the ball to his charges. I think we just need that. Both teams need to settle again. It's 1 minute to go to half-time. I'm sure their coaches will give them a good talking to, tell them to settle down, let the ball do the work. Must say, in this quarter, there's been a lot of defense by the whole team.
Yeah, Stu, I think both teams, though, unfortunately getting a bit too caught up in the fast pace of the game and losing some options. as I say that, Rondebosch scoring a goal there from the right-hand side of the circle. Nice powerful slap there. Goal coming from Steinbacher, right forward for Rondebosch, wearing number 11 jersey. Excellent finish there. But as I was saying, I think both sides just getting caught up a little bit in the high pace of this game, making unnecessary errors going forward. Sort of, as we say, becoming a bit of a game of tennis with this back and forth. So hopefully at this half-time break, a little bit longer than the quarter break, should provide the teams with a chance to just gather themselves and take a deep breath, quick talking to by the coaches, and hopefully come back with a little bit more composure and patience going forward, because at the moment it's all forward, no back. Maddie Miller picking up a deflection there from McConnell. Good save there from the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, looks like Fayad Daniels there, top circle, just skying the ball over. We come to a break there, halfway line.
Daniel's quite a keen cricketer. I think he thought he was playing in a T20 and had to smash that over the covers. He did quite well in getting it into the Western Province Club bowling club over the back end of the field. Just talking about, we know the Rondebosch hockey setup, and it's really good to have a head like Miguel Edwards, who's overseeing hockey from the time they pick up, the grade R's pick up their hockey sticks for the first time, right through to, as we see here this evening, the under-19s playing. And it's nice to have that continuous flow throughout the schools, with coaches working together on a similar game plan with the same ideas and thoughts, and most importantly, the same ethos. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's obviously a major advantage having someone like that technical director to just sort of oversee everything. You see loads of schools these days, in all sports really, having brought someone in to oversee the process. So by the time students are getting to that under 16 first team level, all the procedures and basics and everything that are needed for the school have already been instilled years before that, at under 14 level, perhaps even at a junior school level. Rondebosch fortunate enough to have Miguel Edwards also overseeing a little bit of the junior school coaching, just to oversee the talent and hopefully convince them to come through to the high school and continue playing hockey as they go forward. So I'm sure Paarl are also on the same page there, having a look at their coaching staff, and quite a sizable team there. Looks like 3 guys on the field, 2 guys, 1 lady there, spreading their knowledge and trying to give some inside information as to how to break this Rondebosch defense going into the second half, as the rain starts to just come down a little harder.
Yeah, I think the bio, the physio, and the 2 coaches and the technical advisor is becoming a big thing in hockey and sport. Some would argue maybe not too much of an emphasis should be placed on it, but when you're playing at this intensity that we're seeing this evening, it's lovely to have a bench of 16 and you're able to rotate your substitutes, and everyone gets game time. You can have a player that knows before the game that they're going to be the impact player that comes on for 2 minutes and has a clear role of what they have to do and attain, and the goals that they've got to succeed in trying to score. There we see Miguel Edwards trying to G up his team and get them to get that ball travelling early. So it's amazing to see, and hockey's played at such a high level from high schools onwards. I mean, we're preparing for the Olympics, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for many players to get to an Olympics. But the beauty of playing hockey is you can play from under 7 to a Masters of 70-year-old if you want to. obviously the speed of the game just slows down dramatically when you get to the Masters level. But it's good to see the rain is easing off a little. Rowan McLaughlin has had his say, and he's left a little team talk to the captain before the start of the second half. Should be a very interesting half. I would think that if Paarl boys were to have any impact on the scoreboard, they'd have to score very early on.
Yeah, and I think Rondebosch know that the job is far from done, especially having seen Paarl boys having come back from their 1-0 game against Grey and able to finish even in the last 30 seconds when most teams would have already given up on the game. They seem to still have the fight to come back and draw that game, so still a lot of work to be done. And of course a lot of people seem to think 2-0 up, one of the more dangerous positions to be in. Sort of a sense of complacency could perhaps come over the Rondebosch side here. Hopefully they have the composure to know that there's a lot of work to be done as the second half kicks off. Paarl seemingly much more aggressive on the press going forward, trying to force the mistake from Rondebosch. Brett Sparks just nice and calm, throwing the ball into the foot. A little bit of aerial relief into space. A nice, great ball all the way to our left back. JP Brits going forward. Once again, good speed from Paarl on the defense. Rondebosch making full use of that attack, grabbing the short corner.
Yeah, Baka very strong on the ball there at the top of the D. A couple of stick hacks, and Mr. Gruner was having none of that. Short corner awarded. A little bit of conference at the top of the D there. Blows readies himself to make the stop. We've got Brits and Baka on the second castle. We've got the captain, and it goes to the second castle. It's Brits. Oh, fantastic save on the post. Steered down to fine leg. Brilliant. Stick save. We've got Sparks on the ball now, long corner. He finds Jonty Donald. Jonty Donald bursts the speed. Off a foot, finds a foot, well done. Very composed is Donald. And it's hit just outside the D. With the new rules, the ball has to travel far. There we go, Blows is up to that. Good knowledge of the rules there by the youngsters. Lovely aerial skills in the bottom right corner, but Blows is up to that and wins another short corner. Very sensible play. This will be Rondebosch's fourth or fifth short corner. They'll definitely be looking to convert. Let's see what we can do here. Young prepares himself. It's out to Blows. Variation tried. Bucker's on it. McConnell didn't quite get that in the meat of the stick. Well saved by the keeper. That is a pretty harsh blow, but a correct blow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been good game management on both sides from both umpires. As Stu correctly said there, perhaps a little harsh, being the first 5 offence. Usually a warning followed by a short corner blow, but of course well within his rights to award the short corner, the 6th short corner for Rondebosch here. Hopefully looking to make use off to the first castle. Sparks with the drag and finds the net. Great finish from Brett Sparks to give Rondebosch the crucial third goal that is needed, hopefully giving them a bit of a cushion and a bit more control over this game. Paarl seemingly unfazed by that third goal, still continuing with the procedure, not changing the game plan, sticking with it. connecting with passes. Unfortunately, just a lack of communication there, throwing the ball away on the right-hand side. Very dangerous pass there across the goals from left back from Paarl, putting them under a little bit of unnecessary pressure there, and Rondebosch able to take full advantage and turn it over. Good quick movement there from Fayard Daniels. And John McConnell with an excellent half volley there into the bottom right corner. Rondebosch grabbing quick 2 goals in succession. Seem to have corrected the issue of finishing from the first half.
Yeah, I think the gestures of Miguel Edwards at halftime certainly got the boys going. Lovely to see the quick intensity, the lovely skill in finishing. And that Sparks short corner drag flick was definitely right up there with one of the best I've seen him score. Paarl are going to have to work hard here to come back. I think they just need to try and keep possession of the ball. They've been guilty of maybe throwing away a little bit possession, but then again, Rondebosch defence has been quite solid. Bickard and co, Brits really calm in defence. Sparks and Dietrich marshalling the troops in front of them, doing a really good job. Unlucky by Keegan Culligan, just nudged his foot as he came to make this interception. And then a ball that was passed route 1, but unfortunately no forwards there to get a nick on it. Rondebosch certainly listening to their coach and letting the ball do the work now. Lovely getting into position. Good ball by Bickard and lovely interplay. Culligan unlucky, can't trap it. Ball goes over the sideline, but Rondebosch, you can bet your bottom dollar, will be pressing this, trying to keep the ball up in this corner of the field.
I think Paarl will be looking to make use of a quick aerial release to just obviously relieve some pressure, and we see exactly that, the centre back just stepping onto the ball there to float it into space. Rondebosch just leaving a nice gap for them to float the ball into. Some nice quick skill there from the right link. A lot of pressure being soaked up by Rondebosch at the moment. Paarl looking to break through and grab their first goal. Perhaps a little bit of danger there in the midfield, but umpire's not thinking so. Very well done to the goalkeeper there for facing up and standing strong regardless of the size of Matthew Miller. Still managing to stay with it and not hopping out the way, putting body on line there for his team.
Excellent keeping there, cutting down the angle, and eventually Miller's stick getting caught in his jersey pulled him down, but he won the hit nonetheless. Paarl building. There we go. Lovely little square ball. Early down to the left wing. Oh, good skills by the Paarl attacker. Unlucky not to get the hit there, I feel. Looked like he tripped or was tripped by Rondebosch. Lazy stick there. Lovely ball. Oh. That overhead rule is quite a contentious one, because who was there first? Baka was on the ball. He was running forward. The defender was behind him. If he had trapped the ball, I would have said play on.
Yeah, it's often a difficult one to call from the umpires, but it's supposed to be that obviously if it's passed into an area, whoever is in that existing area, it's their ball. So if someone were to come in to their 5-yard zone, the ball would automatically be awarded to the person originally there. But as we saw there, Matty Miller passing the ball over into space, so the ball should have been whoever got there first, but obviously the umpire seeing something that we're not, so perhaps thinking that it was more in the defender's zone than the attackers. Once again, Rondebosch finding themselves in the back corner, soaking up a lot of Paarl's counter-attack pressure. Nice little aerial relief there from Brett Sparks to just allow them a little breather to maybe refocus on how to go forward. A nice overlap here on the left-hand side of the field. Paarl finding their man with a great ball there. Ball across the circle and grabbing the short corner, exactly what they were looking to do. Abuse that space on the left-hand side, taking the opportunities there. Hopefully they can capitalize on this opportunity. And 4-0 down, sure it's a well-needed goal. No conference there at the top of the circle. Paarl clearly knowing exactly what the game plan is for their first short corner. Let's see what they have in store. The standard 2 castle setup, 1 on post and 1 on the inside. Really anything could happen from here. Possibly looking at a straight drag there, left hand side of the goal. One of Rondebosch defenders, the speedy Alex Blows, just getting a little too excited there on defense, being caught out for an early break, sent back to the halfway line. Paarl now only needing to get past 3 defenders and a goalkeeper, putting a lot of pressure now on Rondebosch defense. Good stop there, and an unfortunate deflection, just hitting the crossbar and going over, but all-round exceptional short corner from Paarl.
Yeah, when a defender gets sent to the halfway line like that, wouldn't you, as the coach, look to have a variation, because you've only got really one wave and your 2 postmen, or if 2 people come off the line then there's 1 postman left. A variation might have been a good option there, but unlucky to hit the post there, the striker. Diving, Blows is on it now quickly, counter-attack, little too long on the ball, onto the Paarl stick, and now Paarl counter. Sparks lost it, recovered, and then hit against him. Spark recovers, Blows on it. Excellent skill there for Blows, who tripped to get up and win the ball back. But now it's all Paarl boys. Oh, Bickard, he's having a great game. Steps in front of his attacker and unleashes the Bickard slap down the line. Paarl number 3, JC Berger. Nice diving save. Gets the ball into touch. Gives his team some time to get back. Young beats his man into the D. Lovely, lovely defense. Must say, Heinrich Wesselman is a real workhorse for the Paarl team. He has not stopped running the entire game. He really puts in a great amount of effort and work. Daniels looks at the umpire as if to say, where did that come from? In that situation, it's quite important that the umpire is very consistent, because it could be the attacker could be creating a dangerous situation by lifting the ball the aerial route.
No, I think he was 100% in his rights there to blow against Daniels as he broke through the baseline there, just lifting it slightly too much, making it dangerous. I think he was perhaps having a bit of a moment looking back at what happened after the blow, but once again, part of the sport. Unfortunately, Paarl just missed trapping that there on the left-hand side of the field. Matty Miller taking it quickly. Ethan Young being very dangerous on attack tonight. Unfortunately, just same as earlier, lifting the ball slightly too much, making it dangerous. Paarl really struggling with options up front, as we were saying earlier. Just not enough people going forward. Midfielder getting the ball, looking up, only seeing 2 strikers against 4 Rondebosch defenders, making it very difficult to find a way through that defensive line. Unfortunate there just to force the ball when perhaps could have just laid it off there to Picard on the outside. Great skills there. Potentially a foot which has been picked up just outside the circle. Paarl unfortunately very dangerous, but just not able to capitalize those opportunities. I think in part to the good defense from both centre backs on Rondebosch side. Everyone now behind the ball. Great ball there. Controversial decision there from umpire on that side, Mr. Tristan Perez. And there we see the overhead rule being called 100% correctly. Defender's ball in that zone. As we end the 3rd quarter, very high-paced quarter that, and players certainly looking a little tired as they walk in for a rest.
Yeah, I think the Paarl boys, their strikers are certainly getting a little frustrated up front. The man-to-man marking by Justin Dietrich and the halves of Rondebosch doing very, very nicely when it comes into defence. And on the counter, they get past young Alex Blows, and then they got to take on the captain Sparks, and after Sparks they've got Dietrich, and they seem to be just trying to focus a little too much on that centre channel. Instead of getting the ball wide, shifting it, switching it around, they're trying to bomb straight down the middle of the field past a very, very formidable midfield that Rondebosch has.
Yeah, Stu, I'm a little surprised that they haven't looked to use their outside forwards a little more. In that 2nd quarter, just before the half, they seem to look certainly a lot more dangerous from the stands here, attacking down those line channels, and then sort of later, once they're reaching Rondebosch 25, then sort of leading in and attacking at that 45. How they grabbed their first short corner of the night was doing exactly that, moving the ball from the one channel to the other and up the line using their speed. So a little surprising that they seem to attack so much through the middle there towards the end of the 3rd quarter. Hopefully they've got a change coming for the last quarter, because it's looking tighter and tighter towards the end for Paarl boys. 4-0 is extremely big feat to come back from.
Umpires Groene and Perez want to get things underway. I think they're worried about that storm that's brewing behind us on the hills behind UCT. Unfortunately, everyone knows about what happened at UCT with that huge fire, and thankfully we've got a bit of rain coming, get the vegetation going again. But Paarl have got a mountain to climb coming back in this 4th quarter. I think as the coach, Mr. McLaughlin's most probably telling his charges, let's get 1 or 2 back, see what we can do, work hard, and obviously we've got to keep our defence very tight. Miller, McConnell, Young up front have provided a test for the defence, and then the links, Donald, Blow, Daniels have done extremely well in keeping up and building through for their forwards to execute. McConnell to Blow. Blows back to the skipper. To Brits. Shut down nicely by Paarl boys. Allows him to get it back out to the skipper. Rondebosch running into a little bit of trouble there. Might have looked to switch it rather. But there's that man. Oh, Blows just shielding the ball with his body. Irvin Mayer there, just passing that 45-degree ball straight onto the Rondebosch front sticks. And away goes Young. Miller up front. Open. Maybe could have laid it off a fraction earlier. Well, good defence by Paarl boys. Oh, Beckard, solid as a rock there. Gets the ball to Donald. Just gets away from him a little bit. There's that midfield that we were talking about a minute ago. Lowe's very solid on the ball. Short ball to Donald. Got time. Down the line, has he found Miller? Yep. Miller gets the ball. Pushing for him. Oh, Daniels lucky to get the ball there. Wins a hit. Very well played by Daniels, recovering. Oh, right idea. Just a little on the dangerous side. Miller was on the end of a keeper, make a good save, but the umpire Grunner deemed it dangerous, so it's a Paarl boys. Hit just on the 23.
As we look now to the right-hand side of the field and see the huge amount of space that Paarl have available, I think it's possibly a good option to think for going forward for the rest of this last quarter. And once again, forcing it slightly into the midfield, which is exactly what Rondebosch want, having such a strong spine to defend against those aerial threat. Dietrich with a nice safety ball there down the line just to relieve the pressure and get back into position there. Quick switch here from Paarl could prove dangerous to Rondebosch. Once again, still looking to find those 45 balls, and Rondebosch just managing to defend extremely well. Great defense there from McConnell, managing to grab the foot, giving us some ball there. Nice little touch there from Daniels in the midfield. Ball across the circle, good option. Fortunately, just a little too quick there for Mr. Young to get on the end of it, but decent attack going forward for Rondebosch. Game pace starting to slow down slightly now. Rondebosch realizing the control they have, and I think Paarl looking to try and force a goal at the moment, possibly not using possession as best they could. As we see another turnover there in the midfield from Rondebosch. Blows making good use of his speed there to get out of danger. Floated down the line. Manny Miller also looking extremely dangerous this evening. Unfortunately, just putting in a illegal tackle there, missing the ball entirely. Another ball to the middle there from Paarl. Yeah, sort of floated into space. No one there. Really need to think about maybe making a change here in the last 10 minutes. Not looking as dangerous as they were sort of in the mid of the game. 5 minutes towards the end of the second chukker and 5 minutes beginning of the third. Paarl looking very dangerous on the counter. Unfortunately, not so much at the moment. Mr. Grunner just laying down the law there, reminding not to play with the ball after the whistle has been blown. Unfortunately, McConnell looking for that upright backstick. Extremely difficult skill that. Not managing to pull it off, but still shot on target nonetheless. Another long corner here for Rondebosch. Blows on the ball. Great defense there. Nothing much from Rondebosch. Very difficult to get through with the amount of players behind the ball. Becoming a bit scrappy now in the final minutes. A bit too much of back and forth, but Rondebosch still very much in control. O'Connell with a nice ball through there. Another excellent save from the keeper. Really has been on form today. I think helping Paarl out a lot to stay in this game. Unfortunately, just missing one or two. Hard to save everything, but still putting in a great shift there behind on the goal line.
Yeah, and as you say, getting a little scrappy now with 8 minutes to go. Here we go. Possibly a great opportunity for Paarl. That formidable Rondebosch defence. Brits. Close. Unlucky to just not get that last pass away. Lifted ball, I think. Yes, Donald early. Jonty gets it. He's got lots of space. Donald. Oh. Gets the foot. Oh. Goodness. Okay. Umpire has decided that was an intentional foot and has awarded a green card for the troubles. Donald on the ball again. Oh, he's got Pickard out on the right. Oh. Unlucky there to give that one to the Paarl boys. Sparks with the tackle. Pickard. Umpire Kruna not happy. He's going to give a little warning. Warning whisper to number 8, Pickard. Seems to be waving his finger at the Paarl coaches too. They must be getting a little frustrated. Bucker's on up front. Rondebosch ball. Early pass to Christa Brain. Top D's on. Oh, good defense. Well anticipated there by the defender. Sure. Umpire Kruna not happy with a little bit of back chat. His hands in his pocket, he's considering, and he is. 2 greens.
Yeah, I think Paarl just starting to lose their discipline out of frustration going forward. Now making it extremely difficult for themselves to come back in this game with only, looks like 6 minutes there on the clock. 2 men down. Fortunately, green card, only 3 minutes, so looks like the chat to the umpire, high dangerous areas, so nice positive going forward in the season.
We've been chasing Rondebosch for the first 3 quarters of the game to continue and then change that mindset from defence to switch on the attack, and very well read there. Well defended by Dietrich. Tall, solid man in defence is Dietrich. Short corner given. Umpires are losing patience here with the lazy tackles. He's blown up Sparks for a stick hack, he says. Just under 2.5 minutes to go. Rondebosch would like to keep this out, keep a clean sheet. The one goal that Rondebosch conceded against Weinberg was from a short corner, bottom right. Very well executed. That Jared Gleur didn't get his stick to, but this short corner was wide of him, wide of that that bottom post. Lovely ball. Bucker just not getting onto the end of a bouncing ball. Lovely idea by Christa Brain, number 6 for Rondebosch. Rondebosch not giving anything away in these dying minutes. 3 strikers up very high. Pickard's on it again. Well played to his captain. Overhead. Very little the Paarl defender could do with that one, but bundle it into touch. Pickard. There's that slap we've been talking about. Finds McConnell up front. Oh, unlucky off the foot. Oh dear, that's a weary pass. That's also a weary pass by number 13, Young. Well tackled by Dietrich. And finds Brits. Rondebosch will take their time setting this up again. .30 seconds to go. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think when we started, both sides a little nervous and making mistakes in the early minutes. Rondebosch taking full advantage of that and going 1-0 up. I think just the major difference being the composure from the Rondebosch side going forward. I think the impatience from Paarl and their inability really to find those strikers up front made it very hard for them to compete. Obviously not scoring goals led to some frustrations late in the game. 2 cards coming from Paarl boys, making it near impossible, being 2 men down for a period of time to really be any threat. But still really nice hockey from both teams, very fast paced. Good basics all round, I think, and Paarl certainly looking to maybe put in a little bit of work going forward and take away from this game and take a W maybe next weekend. Rondebosch, well done on the 5-0 victory, well deserved.
Well, thank you for joining us on Bosch Sports Online.